You ever wake up in the middle of the desert thinking the worst thing you'd have to deal with is a stubborn coyote? Or maybe a rattler under your porch? Yeah, me too. I figured after 12 years in the military, dodging shrapnel and stupidity in equal measure, I'd earned myself a little peace. You know, turns out the real battlefield wasn't halfway around the world. It was right here, smack in the sun-baked edge of Arizona, where a woman named Karen, with a neck like a fence post, decided my land was hers for the managing. That's right, if you ever wondered how far an HOA president will go, buckle up. You're about to find out. I didn't move out here because I wanted to be left alone. Not exactly. I wanted control. I wanted to step outside in the morning and breathe air that hadn't been committee approved. Maybe let my grass grow past regulation height just to see what it felt like. So when I found this modest little house, single story, solid as a rock, set on 2 acres outside the reach of any homeowners association, I thought I'd won the lottery. I even built my own damn fence. Triple locked steel post cameras. The whole bit. Took me 3 weeks and a thumb. I still can't quite bend straight, but by the time my pool was finished, deep rectangular, exactly as I pictured, I finally felt like I'd made it. First 6 months quiet as a tomb. Just me, the sun, the wind, the rare coyote, giving my motion lights a run for their money. Across the way, there's this fancy development, Vista Canyon Hills, you know the type. Spanish tile roofs, yards all mowed like pudding greens, mailbox clusters that practically hum the word compliance. Didn't bother me one bit, until Karen Edwards showed up. You ever meet someone and just know right away your peace is about to expire? She marched right up to my gate one afternoon, khakis pressed sharp enough to slice cheese hair in a bun so tight it looked like she was hiding secrets in there. Introduced herself as the HOA president, asked if I'd ever considered joining the Vista Canyon family. I smiled, shook her hand, said, I appreciated the offer, but I didn't do HOAs. She looked at my pool like it was a graffiti mural and asked if it had been approved by the Community Committee for Outdoor Design. I just stared until the silence got awkward, then told her, this is my land, built it myself. No approval needed. I figured that was that. But no, Karen didn't give up that easy. Next thing I know, little things start to go wrong. Pool covers off kilter in the mornings, wet towels show up on chairs, the chlorine testers moved. I chalked it up to nosy kids. Until I found broken glass under my deck furniture. My gut said something was off. Old habits from the service die hard. So I set up surveillance, cameras everywhere. I figured if my perimeter's getting breached, I want faces. Didn't take long. 2 nights later, bam, motion alert at 2:17 a.m. There she was. Karen herself in a robe climbing my 10-foot gate like she'd been training for it. 2 of her friends followed. They didn't sneak. No, they strutted to my pool, wine glasses in hand like they'd just reserved a cabana at a resort. I watched them on the monitor, laughing, splashing, blasting music, not a care in the world. And you know what I did? Nothing. Didn't storm outside, didn't call the cops. Just hit record, let them have their fun. Patience wins more battles than rage. Next morning, the damage was all there. Broken tile, lipstick smeared on my diving platform, a little gold earring left in the filter basket. I documented everything, sent it to my attorney, and had him draft a formal notice trespass. Damages compensation required. Certified mail. Karen's response. Well, let's just say I've seen less attitude from generals. She marched up my driveway, red-faced, clutching my letter, and demanded to know how I could threaten a neighbor for using a community resource. I told her flat out, it's not a community pool, it's my pool, my fence, my land. She scoffed, accused me of harassment, claimed my cameras made her feel unsafe. I reminded her she'd broken in. She acted like I was the one out of line. We'll see what the authorities say, she huffed, nearly tripping on her own dignity as she left. Sure enough, next day the cops came. One of them, Ramirez, recognized me. I showed them the footage. They stifled laughs as Karen appeared on screen, scaling my fence with her girls' night out squad. Complaint dismissed. But Karen wasn't finished. That same week, I get a letter from her HOA demanding I open my gates and provide shared access to my pool. They even redrew the boundary lines on some kindergarten-level map, claiming a quarter of my land now belonged to the community. You want to talk about escalation? That was it. I gathered every document. I had deed survey footage, Karen's friendly notes, the fake map, and my attorney filed a civil complaint for trespass, damage, defamation, and attempted encroachment. While the legal wheels turned, I doubled down new fence, 10 feet of corrugated steel, facial recognition at every gate, solar-powered backup, the works. My friends from private security installed it. They didn't even ask why. Karen and her crew doubled down too. I started seeing HOA board members filming my fence flying drones over my backyard. I just jammed the signal, watched one crash into my citrus tree. Left it there as a warning. The HOA fired back with their own lawsuit claiming I was creating an unsafe psychological environment. That phrase still cracks me up. But the real twist came when I hired Camille, an ex-military intel pro who could find dirt on a potato. Turns out Karen had pulled the same stunts before: smear campaigns, forced petitions, even skimming HOA money for community beautification projects that mysteriously only benefited her house. Camille got receipts, chat logs, even a quote. "If we can't make him comply, we'll drown him in pressure." That was the bombshell. We sent everything to the county and the state real estate board. Days later, Karen's hit with an audit. Then the news vans showed up, local paper watchdog blogs, then regional TV. Suddenly, it wasn't just about my pool. The whole state was watching. Did Karen back down? Not a chance. She fired up a slander campaign, flyers taped to mailboxes, private Facebook groups full of rumors about me stockpiling weapons, being a danger to community wellness. Health inspectors, fire marshals, even county code enforcement started showing up, always on anonymous tips. Everything checked out clean. All they found was beer and leftover ribs in my fridge. Camille found out Karen was plotting Phase 2 expansion, a plan to forcibly annex my land into the HOA. She even mocked up new HOA signs for my driveway. It wasn't just pettiness anymore, it was outright fraud. We filed a second suit for harassment and abuse of HOA funds. Within 48 hours, Karen's hit with a subpoena. When the news broke, the HOA board started jumping ship. Karen tried playing the victim, showed up at a press conference in dark glasses and a neck brace, claiming intentional social exile. The judge wasn't buying it. In court, my lawyer rolled out every receipt, every photo, every chat log. Camille testified like a scalpel. Karen's composure finally cracked. She muttered something nasty into the mic. The judge threatened to remove her. In the end, the judge hammered the gavel, found Karen guilty of trespass, malicious damage, harassment, and fraud. Ordered her to pay $42,000 in damages, cover legal fees, resign from any HOA post. The HOA itself went under court review, forced to audit 3 years of finances and hold new elections. Karen didn't say a word. Her husband looked like he'd swallowed a cactus. As we left court, I just said, this was never about a pool. It was about control, and that control ends here. But you know, bullies never really disappear. For a while, I got hate mail notes in my mailbox, even a couple of veiled threats. Sent them straight to the sheriff and Camille. Most neighbors just kept their distance. But as word got out about the audit, how Karen had siphoned thousands for her own upgrades, the tide turned. Some folks came by to apologize. One brought beer. I didn't throw a party. I just adjusted my cameras, slept easy for the first time in months. The new HOA board didn't want trouble. Marcus, the new president, asked if I'd help consult. I said no, but I wrote an open letter reminding folks, you don't need a badge to abuse power, just people too afraid to say no. Word spread. Homeowners across the state and then the country started reaching out. A TV show picked up the story, then podcasts, then legal YouTubers. Before I knew it, I was running a channel, No Trespass Nation, helping folks defend their rights, decode HOA nonsense, build their own security. Funny thing, when you fight back hard enough, people listen. I didn't get rich, but I got useful. These days I drink coffee on my porch and listen to the wind. The sign on my gate says, "Private property. If you want to swim, build your own damn pool." And right below a smaller one, "No trespassing. No excuses. No HOA." Now let me ask you this, where do you draw your line? When does community become control? Ever had to fight for what was yours against folks who thought the rules didn't apply to them? I want to hear your story. Drop your city, your time, your HOA war stories in the comments. Tell me, when is standing your ground justice and when is it just stubborn pride? Let's talk about it.